Hey guys, so I'm Ashley Santino from the 11A class, and I just wanted to talk about the Evelyn Franco Mates book for my second video blog. And so I'm going to probably just skim through the book again and look over what was talked about and go over my notes to answer the questions. But I first off wanted to say that I really did not think that the content of this book would be very interesting for me, and I was very wrong. Evelyn Franco Mates are very interesting people, and I think I kind of had a bias about it because I saw a picture in the book about the dead Mickey Mouse, and I didn't like it because Mickey Mouse is my favorite. But no, looking at the pictures and stuff, I'm kind of skimming through again right now. I think that I have a lot more respect for them now. As reading through the book today, I read a little bit further into it, and everything is just really like, it has a message, and I really like that, it really defines what I consider to be art, which I said in my last blog. But I think what really amazed me was the whole concept of Luther Blissett and Draco Mather. I know we've already supposed to answer questions about those anyways, but I really like the whole concept of a group of people trying to work together under one name to create the same message instead of one person acting as one. It kind of the whole stand, we have to stand together, stand for something or fall for anything, which kind of may not make sense to everybody, but to me when everybody is working to show or make a point, whether it's known or not, it's great, and with art it can be really effective. And Luther Blissett being a pen name, that was adopted by this group of artistic people and activists and, people that want to send a message, writers and musicians, they gathered all over Europe and America, in about 1994, and they spread, this through the net, their art, and showed that how easy it was to manipulate reality or what was really going on in the world. And they created the website 0100101101010101.org, and they did that again with Draco Mather after the epic suicide of Luther Blissett. They created Draco Mather, which was also an artist that Evelyn Franco helped create, and was kind of like a cross between a bad LSD trip and a web, oopsie, we found this website, rotten.com, and I saw a lot of the pictures, and I looked up more into rotten.com and what they did, and they kind of looked at that and took it and ran. And I really thought that those images were really interesting. They took real images of things that had happened to people and turned it into fake instead of fake into reality, which is taking something and going back and forth between it is also really creative, and I really like that. They kind of immersed with this whole scene of Luther and then with Draco, and the fake articles and fake biography to go to such extent and such detail is art in itself, and I like that. The lives of Draco and Blissett provoke us to consider a lot of questions of the meaning of truth and reality, and the fine line of the definition, and they help us question the validity of the things that go around in the world and the mass media, and also question how much and how safe it is to rely on the mass media and to rely on the things that go on around us, and because we're so dependent on each other instead of on ourselves in today's age. And I think that the message that they're sending is great with the stealing the pieces of art and whole artworks and individual pieces and doing whole websites and downloading them and creating new ones that are exactly the same, just to show things. And you're not even like saying, hey, we're doing something wrong. It's like, let's see who can figure it out. And, also, when Evan Franco, one of my favorites, was when they made the fake newspapers and fake movie posters, because I remember hearing about that newspaper from the New York Times, because my dad loves to collect newspapers and was talking about it, raving about, all this stuff, and then he was like, it was a lie, and, I think that was really cool. It really definitely shows how art has evolved over time, and how it's not just a painting of Picasso or Van Gogh, or something that we do look at and really appreciate, but now it's like it's more than that. There's a meaning behind it. There's a relevance. There's, which there always has been, but it's one to bring cultural awareness, and it makes a statement. And there's a quote that I found in the book that I really liked, which is, "Truth is the lack of communication," and also he says that art is a lie we want to believe in, and for people to take something that could be so absurd or so sane and to take it at face value without even questioning anything else to go with it really kind of makes that statement and tops it off. But the truth being a lack of communication is, kind of something we were talking about in my English class. It's most of the people weren't in there, but I can relate to you guys. It's just sometimes we're just given facts and everybody's just expected to believe it. So truth being a lack of communication, meaning, what is truth? And if everybody just takes it for face value, how can we question it? Or how can we, you get bored with it? And how can something just stay? Everything's changing and evolving. So truth isn't, in fact, isn't just that. It has to evolve, and with that is a lack of communication if everybody believes it. And then they did, with that, Evan Franco made a statement with media art, with the newspaper movie poster. They proved that gap, like I said, between art and the culture of art and understanding and knowing what's going on, and the world around it. And they showed how heavily, like I said earlier, we rely on the media. Also, they did that with Net.art, which is a group of artists, including Evan Franco, who use the internet as a virtual stage, as the book calls, if you will, for their art and for an infinitely virtual audience, or a virtually infinite audience. And Net.art also, with the whole, they also used the website when they were turning it in to be a part of the gallery online, and messed up everybody's websites. I think that was really cool and really great. I think that is in itself art, and Net.art, that was its meaning, to show, like they did with where they showed the virus and they used the virus as a work of art. Those are really cool. I don't know where to go with that. Also, life sharing they did, which was a work of art where they made Franco and Eva virtually visible to everybody and made them transparent, where every network or website aspect of their life was visible for anyone who wanted to see it at any time. And as we look at that today, we see social networking where everything's asking you, what's this? Like Facebook asks you, what languages do you know? What occupation do you have? Are you a student? Where did you go to school? What are you doing right now? What are you thinking? Do you like this? Do you like this? And with that, with one look at that, somebody can learn so much about you and not know anything about you at all. You could be completely fake. And Evan Franco also really showed how, again, we rely on so much on technology and the advancements that we have today. And they also show, I don't know, they just show a lot of things about how social networking, how it could be a good thing or a bad thing. You can, if you do it carefully and choose what you want to show, it can be safe in some aspects. But if you just show everything and put it all out there, even if you choose to, it can be very dangerous. you know, also, let me see what are some other things that I wanted. Oh yeah, what's with the portraits of Second Life? At first I was kind of confused as the whole point of, let's take pictures of people in, Second Life. How is using Second Life art? But they, it's also, I can see how it attracted them, where, they're using pen names and pseudonyms and groups and websites to cover who they really are, by showing who they really are by using their art. Evan Franco uses the art that they do to show and express who they are, but by not giving themselves credit. And so in this virtual world, they can show exactly who they really are, but what they really look like, and nobody really knows that it's them, so they're still giving the illusion of nobody's really sure who they are, which is amazing, because so much self-expression with so little validity of who you are really is not. And they conveyed what they wanted to be, which is exactly who they are. And they used the portraits they took of other people to convey what other people wanted to be seen as. Which most people, it's, you see what you get at face value on an internet website like Second Life. You don't know what you're getting, or who you're talking to, or who you're dealing with. So I think that in itself was its own project, and it was really cool, and the fact that we get to be hands-on with the whole Second Life, and we can do the same as them. Everything that Franco and that Eva Marx are doing is everything that's possible to anybody else if you have a wide network of people, or even just a few people like Eva and Franco work together on a few things, and showing that everybody can take part in this big movement that they're doing is really cool. Just like with the Nike experiment, that took a lot of people. Again, like I said, it can be a group of small people or a big group of people. And besides pissing off Nike, I guess the Nike Ground Project really showed how much, again, we rely on corporations, media, the people, like basically things with money, people that have power. We rely so heavily on them, and it shows how blind we are and how oblivious we are to the things that go on, unless it's saying, someone's handing it to us on a silver platter saying, here, read this, take this, believe this. We don't go out and fend for ourselves and try and figure out what's going on in the world, and we're culturally, unaware, and not just artistically, but just in everything that we do. And I really, really am interested in reading more in the book and learning more about Evan Franco and how contemporary art is, because I've always been one to really like contemporary art, and I really like it. Anyway, thanks for having us read chapter 1. I really appreciate it. Bye.